going second with all of those outs to switching around, the high opportunities to get the Chorus Experiment, maybe try and take an early prize with that Cramorant, really forcing the pressure on Erin's side of the board and not providing Erin that opportunity to use a supporter. Sometimes that setup could be a bit stifled.
Yeah, mulligan there from Erin, giving Tord that one extra card. Prizes coming down. We will be able to see those very shortly. Now it gets to a sort of a mind game now, right? Coming into top 8.
Oh,
the pressure's on. It's a different beast entirely.
Yeah, but they're both players just got to collect themselves. Erin's been on stream already. He's had a taste of it.
Yep.
Didn't lose, which was great to see, and was able to, I think that was the game. I was the professor research into the rare candy Super Rod Charizard, just ride that line of variants again, and potentially alongside your deck choice, your meta choice for this weekend, can carry you all the way, as we do see another mulligan. Here from Erin, just providing Tord with additional cards, which is not always what you want to do.
Yeah, Tord with the Lost Box, of course, and only playing 4 supporters. He wouldn't mind 2 extra cards in the hand starting off this one. So, I mean, I just can't call this one, like I said. I just keep having that running through my mind, right? Because there are no direct counters, I suppose, to the Charizard EX for Tord. You've got the big punching power from that Roaring Moon EX, but you've got no kind of grass attackers that can take advantage of the weakness of the Charizard EX. Maybe we see a utilization of Kyogre, but the terrestrialization will stop that as well. It's so many runs of play going through my mind, As
we do see the prizes here from both players, nothing too crazy. The Luminion could be, useful latter part of the stages of the game. I mean, let's just see. I mean, both our players are ready now. We do see the fist bump for our top 8 of Gdansk Regional Championships. Erin will be kicking us off.
Yeah, looking forward to how things start off here, whether Erin has an explosive start. We see the Pidgey coming down. Can't see any other options for Pokemon Search in that hand, Alex.
No, just the attachment to Pidgey. I mean, Tord has started that Cramorant. It's not the comfy that he would like to start. That Pidgey's really cool as well. With the 50 HP Pidgey, you have the call for family. Obviously, you can't use it for going first. But if a Charmander does go down, Erin could find an opportunity to use Call for Family and just start setting up the board that route. And it's just a pass.
We just see a pass there from Erin, and Tord's going to be looking to go out to the races here.
Lots of pieces here.
Yeah, so many combination pieces. We see the Battle VIP pass. We also see Pokegear hoping to get one of those Colruses in hand to start using that Cramorant and start applying some early pressure. An escape route would be absolutely massive here, but taking out the Charmander itself is the only threat that's posed to Tord right now.
Yep, so there's a few options in Tord's hand. Remember, from what we understood from previous rounds and what we've already understood with our caster cam, of course, Tord is only playing the 4 of Chorus Experiment.
Yep.
Supplemented by the 3 Pokegear 3.0s, I believe they're called. And that way, he just wants to be using Chorus Experiment back to back to back to back. Get all those pieces that he needs into his hand, left into the deck to really sort of utilize Mirage Gate and use and swing with the right attackers. Yeah,
just a little prize check here from Tord, top 8. Some serious stuff, so it's going to be ever more important to have a little prize check. Checking what options are available to you. We see the Comfey coming down with that Radiant Greninja, concealed cards, just having that added consistency. Like I said, going to be hoping to find one of those Colruses Experiment.
Yeah, Tord already well versed in this matchup as well. Faced multiple across the weekend so far. I believe this is now his, at least the 4th Charizard EX deck across the weekend. Currently with a 2-0-1 record against it, so we'll be feeling quite comfortable with this matchup. But let's see how Tord is able to draw concealed cards into Recycler and Super Rod. Not what you want to see too early.
Needs to get another Comfey down as well if he wants to be able to get that sweet 4 cards in the Lost Zone to start using that
first
Cramorant
card in the Lost Zone for Tord Reklev there. That's Super Rod, one of his 3 of cards, if I'm not mistaken. keeping hold of that dark energy.
Yeah, common to see some high counts of these important cards like Super Rods, just in case you meet any of them with the flower selecting. Here we see Pokegear, big 7 cards for Tord. Do we see the Color 6 experiment?
Doesn't look like it.
Don't believe
unless I'm mistaken, it is a miss.
That's a big miss there from Tord, unable to capitalize on the unfortunate start from Erin there.
Yep, not yet able to find a chorus experiment. Just sort of double checking what is in Erin's hand as well, how this next couple of turns may play out for both players as we sort of start thinking about the longer game now, because Tord is unable to, what looks like, apply pressure. There's the attachment.
Yeah, look at
retreat
the save.
Into the Cramorant. Doesn't want to give up a comfort, and it's just a pass over. Slow start from both players.
Slow start from both players, like you said. But with that pass, it does render Erin available to kind of start the pressure himself here. Here we see the Ultra Ball come down, and with all these low HP Pokemon on Tord's side of the field, the Burning Darkness is always going to be active, doing that 180 damage. He's going to be looking to take prizes as soon as possible.
Oh yes, Erin looking to heat up the battlefield here and really start to burn through Tord's deck with that Burning Darkness. There's an Ultra Ball there, just having to find some pieces. Doesn't have access to Luminion, of course, so unable to grab a supporter with that. Outside of that, is that an Arvin there?
Does have, I think it was,
it is an Arvin.
2 Arvin in hand.
So there's options available. You know, this could reach out for a Pokemon. That Arvin could grab something like a rare candy and something else as well.
He can go for quite an explosive turn here. He could, I believe, go for the Pidgeot, grab rare candy from the Arvin.
But then wouldn't be able, is one piece missing.
Search, yeah, he'd be 1 piece short, I think.
So do you just potentially go for the Charizard EX at this stage, start swinging away? There's a Pidgeot V, considering the Arvin 4. There's the Ultra Ball for the Pidgeot V, maybe get a Forest Seal Stone from the Arvin as well. So that's 2 more pieces. Is that 2 Arvin in hand?
That's 2 Arvin in hand, so would be able to find rare candy and the Forest Seal Stone.
Would like to see Erin start to set up, you know, other Charmanders as well at as soon as possible. Yeah. You know, because it's very unlikely that the Charizard EX will go down too easily with just 1 in the lost zone.
But you do need that second attacker, right?
Yes.
You need that second attacker as an insurance, just in case Tord was able to take the knockout on the Charizard EX. I'm thinking he's only able to do that through Roaring Moon EX with that Frenzied Gouging.
Yep.
Here we see opting to go for that rare candy, like we said.
It's always the fear, though. If you're able to Roaring Moon the Charizard EX, you are activating and ramping up their damage from Burning Darkness as well. That 2 prizes will allow Erin to start swinging for 240, generally taking out anything on Tord's side of the board other than that Palkia V-Star, as we do see the Arvin being played there. There's a Forest Seal Stone. Just double checking the resources from Tord's side. Not too sure, is there enough combo pieces there to grab whatever he would like?
Yeah, we see the Star Alchemy being used here. I would imagine he's probably going to be grabbing that Charizard EX. Oh no, opting to go for the Pidgeot. So, opting to make Quick Search active on his second turn, which is still really strong.
Yeah, maybe happy to just keep setting up a couple more Charmanders in the board state as well. You know, seeing that Tord, in comparison to the other games we've seen Tord on stream, not really sort of burst through to that increased loss zone as before, as we do see there just a rare candy into the Quick Search. Pidgeot EX, a fantastic card, combo card in Stage 2 decks because of that incredible ability just to be able to search out any card from your deck.
Yeah, Quick Search, so powerful in these combination-based decks when you need little cards like Rare Candy, maybe even the Charizard EX, you need your Ultra Balls, you need your counter catchers. You know, there's no better Pokemon to have on your field than the Quick Search Pidgeot EX.
Yep, so let's just see how he will play this turn out here. Quick searching, going through the deck again, already has an idea what is prized through a few searches before. Is that just a Charmander?
see, the problem is here, the Moonlight Shuriken is looking pretty dangerous from Tord's side, right? Because there's no Manaphy on board.
It'll be a tough burst to 7, though, with Chorus Experiment taking you up to 3, the Comfy taking you up to 4. You need another free cards in the Lost Zone, and it's not something that Tord's deck is really built for.
No.
So maybe Erin just thinking, well, you've only put 1 into Lost Zone. That Cram's still in the active spot. It's an annoying card to deal with. And it's just a pass. Let's just slowly set up my board here. And when I'm ready, I'm going to start swinging.
And that's a top deck of the Chorus Experiment for Tord. Concealed cards starting us off here. Drawing 2, I believe one of those cards was the Kyogre Celebrations.
Tord does need to get into the Comfy, into active spots.
Slapping that Chorus down, looking at the top 5. What do we see, Tord?
Switch card and escape rope. Two escape ropes. And a nest ball. Is that just then a card that's not a little bit less useful as well? Just at the front there, the Poker Gear trying to chain those Chorus Experiments. So it's always an option to have to put into his hands if he doesn't see them. Looks like double escape rope currently being eyed up as a Lost Zone options. Wants to take out this Charmander in the active spot.
Yeah.
Because it leaves Erin in the same position as the previous turn.
Yes.
If it's just switch karting and maneuvering around, I should say.
Yeah, and here we see those 2 escape rope hit the Lost Zone for Tord. Important to mention as well, and remind our viewers that there's no Gust in Tord's deck. There's no Boss's Orders, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets around these big HP Charizard EXs.
Yep, exactly that. Something you don't typically see in Lost Box Kyogre lists, and at the heart of it, that's what Tord is playing.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't actually seen Tord utilize Kyogre too much. We do see his one-off Sableye hit the Lost Zone. There is now 4 there, as we do see another Nest Ball being played by Tord.
Another Nest Ball, you would have thought it'd be another Comfey coming down. Another Flower Selecting, not a terrible option for Tord right now. Start building up that Lost Zone towards the 10. However, important to mention,
just needs to hit the 7.
Just as that Sableye has hit the Lost Zone, that's his only copy.
Yeah, that's exactly that, Ben. Just plays the 1 copy to find the space for all the other cards. Yeah. And that's why, you know, this deck that Tord's playing really only needs to hit upwards towards the 7.
Yeah, here's the escape rope.
Interesting here by Erin. I actually quite like bringing forwards the Pidgeot V.
Yeah.
Because it's able to tank a hit and then use Vanishing Wings and hide away. The Pidgeot EX also is a card that has 280 HP. Now, Iron Hands hits for weakness, of course.
Yeah, he did.
It would have to use the first attack of Iron Hands, which is the arm press to deal 160 times 2 to knock it out. Wouldn't be able to utilize the Ampu very much. Too much there, because only dealing 240 once weakness is accounted for. But here, I really like the Pidgeot V, the X spot. Double escape rope there. That's all 4 escape ropes used by Tord. Well, not used, but in play by Tord.
Let's say in play. Yeah, I really like the promotion of the Vanishing Winds. Like you said, such an efficient way to kind of deal with the damage from Lost Box. Split innocently, only doing 110. You know, we've seen this before, the Pidgeot V being utilized in the Lost Box variants, taking a hit from the Cramorant and then just
do you want to be giving up the Charmander away again? That's a scenario that Erin finds himself in. I may again would have liked to have seen the Pidgeot EX go forward, maybe trying to absorb a hit.
Yep.
Not ideal to leave damage on the board, but you know that Sableye is not doing anything there. It does leave it susceptible to Ampu very much later if Tord does have to take 3 prizes somewhere down the line. But you know, Erin's decided to promote the Charmander into the active spot. It will be an easy first prize taken in this top 8 match here.
Yeah.
With this Cramorant in the active spot. There you go, spit innocently.
Yeah, applying the pressure there, taking the first prize of this game with the Cramorant, spit innocently, promoting the Pidgeot EX there, of course, with that free retreat from Erin. And let's see what he can do in the face of this Cramorant.
In the face of adversity.
Yeah.
There's the Arvin coming down again. So, is able to instantly go into another Charizard. Well, go into his first Charizard EX, I should say. Did have to, unfortunately, lose a Charmander on that turn. But, you know, that's activated all the... started ramping up some of the attacks from Burning Darkness now. There's a Forest Sealstone with a rare candy. I imagine the Forest Sealstone, now that it's used, is just fodder.
Yep.
For a particular card.
Quick search, you would imagine, for an out to the Charizard EX, if not the Charizard EX itself. And here we see the quick search showing off its stuff. And of course, with the rare candy in hand from that, Arvin is going to be able to start applying some pressure here with that Burning Darkness. Infernal Rain raining down some fire energies onto that Charizard. Rare candy there, and the Charizard. Just a quick search of the deck. Get out those 2 energies.
Infernal Rain, baby.
Yeah.
Let it rain with all those fire energies.
Quick 2 attachments there. You'd imagine an energy. Oh, would you attach another energy? You might want to attach another energy to the Pidgeot EX as an optional attacker.
Yeah, the opportunity to use its actual attack, Blustery Wind, to deal 120. Not something you see too often, but it is available there.
It's not usually an option, I would have thought, for Erin, but with all of these low HP Pokemon on Tord's side, can take some cheeky prizes here or there.
Yeah, it's one of those now that if Erin promotes Charizard EX, Tord will be looking to try and burst into that Roaring Moon, if at all possible, because it's only 2 away from the Mirage Gate threshold of 7 in the Lost Zone. And then being able to use something like Frenzy Gouging just to instantly knock out a Charizard EX will be hugely impactful for this matchup.
Yeah, and here we see the manual attachment to the Pidgeot. Oh, and
it is
to
just a
use
Blustery Wind.
This is so interesting now, because this makes the Iron Hands that much more effective with that Pokemon in the active. Of course, Tord is going to be really looking to capitalize on this. It might be able to take 3 prizes here if he's able to get that Ampy Very Much off.
Ampy Very Much, then only dealing 120 though.
Oh,
so that's have to target
yeah.
the Pidgeot V if it was able to take 3 prizes. 280 HP, just out of reach for Ampy Very Much. But Arm Press is available. It's an option.
Yeah.
Still accelerating and taking 2 prizes if Tord chooses to do so. But again, you're ramping up Charizard EX on the bench. Now, Tord has no gusting options, can't target down the Charizard EX until it's in the active spot. And with all of those escape ropes already utilized, it's going to be a different route to victory that will be having to try and target down. The Recycler hitting the Lost Zone. 6 now.
Yeah.
There.
Just 1 more to make those Mirage Gates active for Tord and a viable option. So here we see the
Pokegear again. Does he hit it the 2nd time? There it is.
There it is. There's the Chorus's Experiment. Of course, the main engine of Tord's deck. No other supporters, no other draw supporters, no gust.
The only engine.
The only engine.
Not something we see too often.
No, not at all. And Tord will be able to look at those top 5. It's going to be interesting to see if he does still go for that Iron Hands, but it would be an easy 2 prizes for Erin still.
It would be an easy retaliation.
Yeah.
But at this stage, the way Erin set up the board, is there much else you could do? There's no escape ropes to go around and maybe target something else. I think Tord's just kind of eyeing up his options that are available to him as well. Plays the Chorus Experiment, top 5.
I'm wondering if Erin is trying to bait Tord into putting down those 2 prizes, right? Because the 1 prize is easy to deal with, but it's the 2 prizes that Erin really wants to be able to knock out to speed up this game.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely echo that sentiment there, Ben. Being able to sort of force your opponent to have to use big attackers is one way that Charizard can really sort of ramp up its own prize racing.
Yeah.
As it does see sort of the occasional knockouts here. I mean, if Tord uses Iron Hands, goes down to 3 prizes, the Charizard will retaliate, Erin will go down to 3 prizes, and then it's on Tord to find a way to maybe Roaring Moon. There it is. There's Iron Hands.
Super Rod is in hand as well, so he will be able to get that lightning energy, but he does have the lightning energy in hand. Oh, no, sorry, it needs double lightning energy to be able to use arm press.
Correct, yep. 2 lightning, 1 colorless.
So we'll need to super rod. Any case, there's the first Mirage step. Did just super rod, so he does have quite an efficient way of just putting down the water and the lightning down.
Just the 1, is it dark energy left? Oh, and a couple of psychics in the water there. Doesn't want to use the dark energy, of course, on the Iron Hands. Wants to keep it for that Roaring Moon, if at all possible. If and when Charizard steps up to the field to try and trailblaze himself through towards deck as well.
Does play 4 darkness energy, so
this
frenzied gouging will always be an option.
Heavily resource intensive.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to go. This Iron Hands has to take the knockout here. You are, of course, limiting Erin from using Quick Search. Your Mirage Gates are also just, you know, you only really need to use the 1 to power up your arm press attack. And then you can start trying to build up the board with that Roaring Moon.
Yeah, benching the Roaring Moon, really interesting play there by Tords. Just showing Erin, these are my threats here, right? These are what I've got on offer as attackers. And now for Erin, there is a 3-turn attack, right, of taking game, so he can just knock out the Iron Hands, knock out the Roaring Moon, and then just knock out one of these single
There's the arm
poses.
press. Yep, the knockout on the Pidgeot EX, dealing 320 damage, over KOing the Pidgeot. Erin really needs to maybe target down that Moon as an option.
I would like to see that, I think. You know, I'll be asking more questions of Tord. If they are able to use Counter Catcher, then Iono as well, even better, because you would be putting Tord, of course, down to 3. Oh, Lost City comes down.
Could that make a massive impact in this game? You do push Tord up if you take knockouts, but remember, it's just a Sableye that hits the threshold of 10 in the Lost counter. Tord only really cares about the Mirage Gates and getting 7 in the Lost Zone here.
With no more escape rope as an option to Tord as well, Erin will be able to just promote this Charizard EX and just freely bench some more Charmanders, right? So even if they can't get the knockout on the Roaring Moon, taking out Iron Hands is just as well, right? But we see here not a fantastic hand.
No,
from
it's
Erin.
not a great hand. It's just a retaliate Burning Darkness attack.
Burning Darkness. Oh, that feels quite rough. The Iron Hands does have to hit the Lost Zone, of course, with that Lost City. Thank you, Tord.
Yep, 9 in the Lost Zone now. Can Tord find a way to frenzy gouging his way through this big, bulky Terra Charizard EX?
You would hope so.
I mean,
if you were Tord.
Considering putting it forward,
that's
are
confident.
the pieces already in hand? Not having to worry about digging for any more cards. Mirage Gate top decked, I believe.
Yeah, he did have the Darkness Energy in deck, and with that top deck of the Mirage Gate, Frenzy Gouging is now an option for Tord, and that's what you would imagine he would be doing.
Yeah, nice and simple. Mirage Gate in hand, played down, Psychic Energy, Dark Energy in deck. Just needs to apply it to the active. Of course, needs to think about the last prize, but this would put himself in such a commanding position.
Yeah, of course, removing most of the threats on Erin's board.
All
However,
of it, really.
With Frenzy Gouging, of course, putting 200 damage on himself isn't ideal when you've got a Pidgeot V in front of you as well. Flight Surf is an option for Erin to use. Just that 80 damage will see off that Roaring Moon EX as well. And then how does Tord deal with that Pidgeot V then?
Well, with Iron Hands already gone, there's no easy way to take the knockout.
We see another Colress come down. But I don't believe, actually, thinking about it, I don't believe I saw an energy in Erin's hand either. So this is a really awkward situation for both players, really.
Yeah, it's one crazy way for this matchup to sort of go. I kind of highlighted the way Tord was going to go through the prize mapping, utilizing Iron Hands, utilizing Roaring Moon. We do see a Pokestop as well. He's just double checking. He's not going to deck himself out anytime soon. Switch cards. Psychic Energy gone. Comfey gone. How much does he want to see that energy go? I think he still has access to a Recycler again.
I think he did have Darkness Energy in hand.
Yeah, he had Dark Energy in hand, so the Frenzy Gouging is always happening. Flight Surf from Pidgeot V could retaliate if there's an energy Merriman can get access to. Might be top deck mode once again. And then it's just on Tord to try and close out the game with just one prize remaining.
Yeah, intrigued to see how this one goes now for both players. Frenzied Gouging looking like the likely outcome here for Tord.
There it is.
There it is. There's the 200 damage coming down onto that Roaring Moon EX, and let's see what Erin has here.
Is there enough to do something to stay in the game?
Oh, it's a battle
VIP pass. That is not what you're after. This could be it for Erin's board.
Escape Rope,
Pokestop. Is there anything that this Pokestop could give him? Super Rod, Nest Ball. Unfortunately, none of the cards that he's requiring right now.
He's writing on the wall here for Erin. Just deliberating that Nest Ball, and with when only Tord requiring one prize here, he is able to knock anything out really with the Roaring Moon EX. See here a Mew.
A Mew just grabbing more items. Again, not ideal.
Doesn't play any items to try and get any energy from the deck. Doesn't play any energy search. So interesting.
This doesn't look good for Erin.
No.
Tord putting himself in a very commanding position here. There is the Mew, the Celebrations Mew that we've seen do incredible things in a lot of matchups and a lot of decks so far.
Yeah,
Mysterious Tail, an incredible ability.
For Erin, just really has to deal with this Roaring Moon before anything else.
Just unfortunate draws Erin's had so far.
Calamity Storm is going to look like the likely option for Tord next turn. Looking at that Pidgeot V or even Frenzied Gouging. Here we see
escape
the Escape Rope. Promoting the Comfey.
Does move the Roaring Moon away and out of harm's way, I should say.
Here we see the Mysterious Tail Mew. Just wondering here what Erin's game plan is.
Just trying to look through the deck, trying to find opportunities that may be available to Erin. Want to know what's he looking for? What's this Mysterious Tail? What could it bring for Erin's board?
Yeah, Pokestop already used. Let's have a look at those top six. We see an Iono. I believe there's a Charmander and a Charizard EX.
There's Ultra
Ultra
Ball.
Ball. Wondering what he's going to be looking for here.
I think Luminion's still prize. He hasn't been able to take it out of the prizes.
But even so, I'm unsure what Luminion will do here. I guess Luminioning for Iona will disrupt towards to one, of course, but with an abundance of flower selecting, and even with a flower selecting in the active, Tord is able to get out of that sticky situation.
Yep, it's not looking too great here. Erin playing to as many of his outs, or if any at all. Just double checking the hand. Forest Sealstone already been used. Tord here just setting up having his board in a state where, well, Erin, you've got to deal with the main threat here. Very calm. Not much Tord could do depending on what Erin is able to pull out of the bag.
Yeah, unfortunately for Erin, anything he promotes here will be in range of the Roaring Moon. Just looking for that Manaphy there. So it does grab, the Jirachi.
Grab the Jirachi.
Okay.
Again, not too much going on.
Yeah, Sableye in the loss zone for Tord, so that Jirachi posing very little threat to his game plan.
Jirachi coming down.
Punches down the Jirachi, and with an attachment of the Forest Sealstone, may end his turn here.
Just one prize, remember, from Tord's side of the board. There's not much in his hand that he can play out. Is there?
No, we do see the boss, though. Can't afford the boss. Wondering what he is bossing. Bossing up the Radiant Greninja.
I guess with the Jirachi coming out, it's just filling his hand a little bit, little bit more. Yeah, and I think Tor's just showcased what actually is in his hand. It's just an energy attachment retreat, and the Roaring Moon will be able to take game 1 of our top 8. Tor playing ever so perfectly just to kind of get his board into the state where that Charizard EX is not able to deal with anything from Erin's side.
Toward Reklev, putting himself 1 game away from top 4 now. Exciting stuff. Wondering how, now that both players know exactly what their game plans are in this specific matchup, it'll be exciting to see how both players proceed now in going into game 2.
Oh, 100%. I think Erin's a little bit unfortunate with some of those draws once again. He'll be looking to try and establish more Charmanders, more Charizard EXs. Once one Roaring Moon is sort of taken out, maybe the first Charizard EX, you'd then be able to generally respond if you're able to just chain KOs. In that scenario, he had to utilize Pidgeot EX as an attacker, then he loses his sort of powerful draw with that quick search ability. And it just sort of crumbled at that stage.
It just sort of fell apart for Erin, I think. I think Erin had a really unfortunate start, right?
Yeah.
Was unable to really pop off with all of the ball search and the battle VIP pass that are available to him. And unfortunately was maybe forced to use the Pidgeot EX when he may not have wanted to. I suppose with the Iron Hand as an option for Tord. He will know that, of course. I think everybody's aware of what Tord's playing now. It would be interesting to know if he wanted to use that attack. I doubt it. But yeah, I would have put that down to an unfortunate start for Erin, but Tord just showing, the deck can capitalize on poor starts from your opponent.
Tord showing exactly why he's revered as one of the best in the modern era right now, right? With not just any one deck, he's utilizing, finding the gaps in the meta, deck building, innovation to handle what he's expecting for such a large tournament, as both players are just beginning to set up here as well. Tord does have a mulligan. We do get a chance to have a quick peek of Erin's prizes. 1 Pidgeot EX, any more? 2 Charizard EX, 2 Pidgeot EX. Not ideal.
No, not at all. 2 Pidgeot EX in the prizes. Bye-bye Birdie. No option to evolve there. Doesn't play the 3, just the 2. And with 2 Charizard EX in the prizes as well. Erin does only play 3, Alex.
Working with just the 1 Charizard will not be ideal. Remember, if you're just joining us now, this is our Masters Top 8 match selected by you guys at home, where we've just had Tord Reklev take game 1, and Erin will be looking to try and tie things up, but those prizes haven't been kind.
No, not
Tord's
at all.
side, generally fine.
Yeah, generally okay. I mean, 1 color isn't the end of the world, in a deck where you're only playing 4. I suppose, detrimental somewhat, but if anybody can get out of that situation, it'd be Tord Reklev, and here we see Erin.
Oh, just confirming. I think they were confirming the mulligan draw, which may not have taken place before. Oh, okay, who's kind of starting it? Erin deciding to go second. It looks like if Tord is now using the Hisuian Heavy Ball, don't think there was much options available there.
If any, I believe. I don't believe he prized any basic Pokemon.
No, do not believe so. But gives him a good idea. Now can do the deck search without having to start figuring out what is not available to him. Does have access to only 3 Chorus's Experiment because 1 is prized. But generally needs the 2, maybe get to the 3rd, get some comp phase down, and going as soon as possible. From Tord's side, if he's able to get going with the comp phase, with the comp phase and the Chorus's Experiment, he has access to things like Radiant Greninja. Take 2 early, quick, easy prizes, maybe alongside Cram at some stage.
Oh, that's a rough start from Tord there. Just an attached pass onto the Sableye.
Erin just top decked a 1 Charizard EX that's in his deck as well. Hasn't been able to obviously search out what's available to him yet, but there's another Charmander. Is there much else going on in that hand?
No. I think maybe a rough start for both of our
But
players.
there's an Iono, but does Erin want to play the Iono right now? Knowing Tord hasn't done too much outside of that Hisuian heavy ball, but of course, going first, can't play supporters anyway.
Does have the fire energy and
Just a pass back.
This is absolutely bizarre. Tord.
Hi.
Alex.
Hello.
Well,
it's just a scratch.
And it's just
an
a scratch.
instant scratch back. It does have the rare candy
And there's
Charizard.
concession.
Instant win there by Erin. That will settle some nerves, I think. If that game's going to happen like that, that will settle your nerves. Erin there with a bit of a wry smile, taking an easy benching out of Tord. Tord just scratching his way for 20 damage, but that Charizard retaliating with 180.
I love how he just shows Tord there. By the way, a prize 2 Pidgeot there. My prizes were pretty rough.
Well, I mean, he didn't even know until he just flicked over himself. So obviously, they're both just having a bit of a giggle about it. Great to see both players enjoying themselves at this top 8 stage. Erin leveling things up in our top 8 feature match.
Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, you sometimes hear horror stories, right?
You're never speechless as well.
I could talk for ages.
Ages, ages.
Yeah. But you should sometimes hear horror stories, right? Oh, I started Sableye pass. Oh, I had an energy onto Cramorant pass, right, from these Lost Box players.
Yeah.
You know, it does happen, unfortunately, and Tord just showing that.
Yeah, first time Tord has unfortunately not drawn the way he would usually expect from his deck. You know, we've spoken about his list before. It's lots of 4-ofs, lots of trying consistency cards, and that was just one example of not how it goes.
No, of course. Sableye, just the one
just
in the
one.
active. No bench Pokemon, not a place you want to be in, of course.
Mulligan by Tord, sorry.
Yeah, and Erin just showing how he could capitalize on that poor start.
Just a rare candy Charizard. It's one-off Charizard EX that's left in the deck or hands.
I just had it.
You just had it. Just had it.
I just had it. But yeah, both of our players here heading into a game 3 in our Masters top 8. One of these players will be reaching the top 4. Who you got?
I think there's equal opportunity here. It's not the closest. It is one of the closest of games that you could take. I still like Tord's prize mapping, but Erin's deck with the Charizard, big bulky Charizards, can cause just chaos.
It is chunky, and without any gust, Tord will have to...
Ooh, double Charmanders.
What do we got? Double Charmander.
Double Dark be quite annoying, because if Tord has to... Oh, yeah. Make sure you take your mulligan before you reveal your opening card there. Looks like Tord has elected to let Erin go first. Mew in the active, fantastic starter to try and dig for those battle VIP passes, or has one in hand anyway. Who needs to dig?
Yeah, things you love to see. Things you love to see on Erin's side. Starting the Mew celebrations, Mysterious Tail, so effective when battle VIP pass is active. You'd definitely be searching for some of them. But of course, starting one, why not?
Yeah, just 2 Charmanders available though. Doesn't want to give any of those up too quickly.
No.
Thankfully, hasn't prized any Pidgey pieces, I don't believe, so we'll have access to those at some part of the game.
Not that it was detrimental last game.
Oh, well, yeah, who needs them when you could just start swinging away turn 2?
Yeah, of course. So just here, quick prize check. Doesn't need to do a double take this time. No, Erin, you did not prize double Pidgeot this time. But here we see, like you said, it'll be interesting to see what he prioritizes here with those 2 Charmander prized.
Just got to protect those from those pesky Cramorant attacks. Spit Innocently, such an annoying card to deal with for small, squidgy Pokemon.
Yeah.
That Pidgeot V looks like the target of choice. Has Erin opened once again with a Forest Sealstone? He does this a lot if he does. If not, maybe there's an Arvin and he can continue going through later. Remember, also, a reason why we even played Pidgeot V before is that it can soak up a Cramorant attack.
Yeah, such a great card in this matchup specifically. Like you said, soaking up that damage from the Spit Innocently Cramorant. It's not hitting 210 there, so why not? Soak up a bit of damage, retreat, Vanishing Winds, put myself back into the deck. You know, negating Tord's entire turn, really, of damage. And here we see Erin just deliberating, putting down the Jirachi. He knows that Tord does play that one-off Sableye. Here we see the Mysterious Tail.
Doesn't want to sort of maybe lose a Mew to a double escape rope, for example, like we saw on a previous turn. But it hits the battle VIP pass once again. We'll be able to You know, pull out those additional cards like the Charmander, like that Pidgey, as he does play it. You know, was just kind of thinking as he was shuffling back up again after that Mysterious Tail. You'd have to assume he'd go for the Pidgey and Charmander, and maybe then we'll be looking to try and get the Manaphy around as well, because he doesn't want to be Moonlight Shuriken at any stage.
No, that would be terrible for Erin. Of course, looking for that other Charmander. The only two that are available to him with those rough prizes. Opting to go for the Pidgey.
Double checking what's available.
Fantastic start, though. I mean, starting the Mew extra dig into the deck for those battle VIP passes. This is the reason why they play it.
I guess the reason why I might be considering the Manaphy now, beyond the opening turn with that battle VIP passes, it's just the 4 Ultra Balls and 2 Nest Balls. And I guess also the Forest Seal Stones that can help grab out a Manaphy on subsequent turns. So that's why maybe Erin's thinking, well, do I need to get this out now?
No.
Try and stop this. But I like the Charmander here. You know, it's building up your board threat as soon as possible. Let's get them up and running ASAP.
I like the precaution. I definitely like the precaution from Erin. Maybe knowing that Tord doesn't have any way of getting up to 7 straight away into the Lost Zone. Here we see a manual attachment to the Pidgey. Interesting. Defiance Band there as well in hand. 2 Charizard EXs.
Forest Seal Stone. He did open Forest Seal Stone again.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Oh, and just a pass.
Just a pass.
Interesting.
No, absolutely fine. Obviously, would like to not see the Mew get taken down, or either of his Charmanders, but the only way Tord can maneuver that Mew out of the active with that escape rope, Erin will have the option to choose whichever Pokemon he'd like.
Yeah.
To send up at the active spot. Chorus Experiment, though, kicking things off from Tord's side. Doesn't need to start digging around for them immediately either. Escape Rope and Psychic Energy hitting Lost Zone. Greninja there within those 5. As he does use Conceal cards.
Going to be wanting to use this Cramorant to apply some pressure straight away. However, Escape Rope, like we've already mentioned, the Vanishing Winds Pidgeot V will be soaking up a bit of that damage, so renders Escape Rope quite ineffective for Tord Reklev's plans here. And there we see the Escape Rope in hand. Not much happening other than that Battle VIP pass. Oh, no, sorry, that was the
prizes. Yep. Just the prizes there, Ben. So, back to Tord's hand. Couple of Mirage Gates, Nest Ball, Water Energy. Not too sure what else there is there. I mean, this is after a Chorus's Experiment as well.
Yeah. Hisuian Heavy Ball, such an important card in Tord's deck, of course, with the amount of Pokemon he does play.
You expect.
Of course, playing it first turn, have a little picky prizes. What are the options available to me? How am I going to have to adapt my game plan? Here we see the Nest Ball for Comfey as well. Tord's going to be looking to make a big start here.
Yep, everything on the line here. Comfey out from the Nest Ball, switch card into it. Let's start dancing around with those Comfeys, flower selecting.
Nest Ball quite big there. Going to find another Comfey, another flower selecting. Will put him to 4 in the Lost Zone, rendering that Spit Innocently available as an option to him. Here we see possibly, oh, another switch card, had it in hand. Here we see the flower selecting from Tord, Psychic.
Another Psychic Energy. Does he want to give up that Sableye like he did in game 1?
Yeah.
Yes, it hits the Lost Zone. Does have energy in hand now to attach and retreat into the Cramorant. Could start initiating the prize race with that Spit Innocently after Lost Provisions allows Cramorant to attack with no energy attached. And that Mew will be hitting the discard there as Tord takes the first prize of the game 3 in this top 8 Masters match.
Tord putting himself 5 prizes away from a top 4 here. Promotion from Erin with that Pidgey. Did have quite a few options available to him with that hand. I believe he top decked the Nest Ball.
There's a Nest Ball, so he could grab
Seal Stone.
Nest Ball could grab the Manaphy to protect himself. Later down the line, the Forest Seal Stone activated it, that Star Alchemy, being able to grab any card from your deck, iron up that rare candy as well. Remember, everyone, this top 8 feature match between Erin and Tord here. A lot on the line. The winner will be able to progress into top 4 with a hope and take home, at the bare minimum, $5,000, 1,008 booster packs, plenty of CP available, as we do see the rare candy into that quick search Pidgeot EX.
Yeah, quick search now available to Erin. Uses it pretty much straight away. Looking possibly for another rare candy into Charizard and start using that Burning Darkness, posing a lot of threats to Tord's board. Asking Tord, how do you respond to this? I'm going to put a 330 HP Pokemon that's knocking out the majority of your board in front of you.
Yep.
Here we see Infernal Rain, 2 energy onto the Charizard EX.
Raining pure fire onto the board here, accelerating energy. Big bulky Pokemon dealing lots and lots of damage. We'll need to try and start finding a way to perhaps maneuvering that other Charmander into a Charizard EX at some stage as well. Has done the 3rd energy attachment from Infernal Rain to the Pidgeot EX. Will we see another attack from the Pidgeot EX here as well? That blustery wind.
Will we see it? Will we not? Let's see what Erin does here. Other than that, his hand
isn't too strong.
Isn't too strong. However, with quick search available to you, you can always shake things up, refresh the hand maybe, get all of that power consistency with maybe boss's orders, rare candy, cards like that.
Do you want
always
to be giving
available
up?
To him.
Yeah, I guess it's for that hand that you have. Do you want to be giving up the Pidgeot EX? Nest Ball being played, the Jirachi being played down, so maybe Erin doesn't really have too much of a grasp on what else is in Tord's deck, because obviously that Sableye has hit the Lost Zone.
Yep.
It's just that one-off. We've highlighted it before, having to fit all of these pieces, all of these different attackers. Yep, Erin does free retreat into the Charizard EX now, because that Pidgeot EX is so vital. So vital to keep going and keep tempo up against this Lost Paradox box deck.
That board fully protected now with both the Manaphy and Jirachi. Opting to use Vanishing Winds, free up a bench space for Erin here, shuffling up. And of course, with that Charizard EX, is able to take a prize and equal things up here in our top 8. Game 3.
Yep, so Burning Darkness will be dealing 210 damage. Plenty to KO this Cramorant in the active spot as the attack is announced. Prize has been taken. The 2 Charmanders are at the top of those prizes, remember.
Yep.
Unlikely to be seen too early.
It's going to maybe
Tord's hand again.
No, not
but,
fantastic.
Yeah, he has energies, so can start drawing through.
3 Mirage Gate in that hand, by the way.
No,
in case you missed it.
No Chorus Experiment yet, so at the moment won't be able to hit the 7.
This
big flower selecting.
Yeah, big.
Poker Stop and a Water Energy. There's a lot of energy going into the Lost Zone at the moment, but there are plenty.
Yeah, one.
And at least it's a rainbow flavor.
Yeah. One water.
Rainbow of flavors, I should say.
1 water, 1 psychic, 1 lightning. Here we see the Poker.
Oh, the Poker Stop could be massive. That does remove a Chorus Experiment, though, reducing the odds.
See the Poke Gear.
There's a little chuckle there from Tord. It's not what he wanted to see. Did want to see the Poke Gear, but not that Chorus.
Just having a little chuckle there at the state of his hand, I think. Here we see the Poke Gear.
He's throwing it down.
Throwing it down.
Does he hit his, is it 1 Chorus Experiment left?
I think so.
Not quite yet. 3 more.
Was that it there? No?
Oh, he's hit the last card.
Hits
Incredible.
the Chorus's Experiment. He's back in it, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Tord at his best. Having to work through, I think that might just be his last Chorus. I think that there might have been 1 prized as well.
Yeah,
Already played 1.
That was his very last one, with 1 in the prizes, 2 in the discard pile.
Now, Tord needs to hit the right combo of cards here as well.
The Mirage Gates will now be active as well with 7 in the Lost Zone.
Nest Ball vital here.
2 Nest Balls as well.
Double Nest Balls, so Tord is going to be going here. He's going to be firing off.
With the switch cart as well,
that
all
Dark
options
Energy in
available.
hand. Yeah, Dark Energy in hand. Mirage Gates available. There is a lot for Tor to just pop off here.
Yeah, Frenzied Gouging is an option to him this turn if he wants to use it and start applying the pressure. Start taking surprise cards. But for the remainder of the game, Iono looks tough for Erin, right? If he's able to pop off with an Iono next turn, Tord with no supporters. Oh, no, sorry. We didn't.
Oh, there is one
it was
more.
last. It was last
It
game.
was
he
last
prized the
game. I
Chorus.
do apologise.
It was last game he prized
It's
the Chorus.
all a blur when these games come together. You know,
was a
there's so
quick-
much on the line.
It was a quick game too, to be fair.
There's Roaring Moon hitting the field. That Ancients Pokemon, Roaring Moon EX. We've seen Frenzy Gouging take down a Charizard EX in the first game. So that I'm clear, accidentally skipping over the second. But it's massive. Double checking the energies that are available to him in the deck.
Does have the Darkness Energy in hand already with this Mirage Gate. Darkness Energy in deck as well.
But what's after that? As you just said, I think you've
that's the
correctly
tough.
highlighted, it will be very difficult to work out how the next turns will play out.
What's
He's
the
having
response?
to manage all of these resources, remember. He's had to discard plenty using concealed cards, get into the game. He's had to lost zone multiple cards, multiple energy cards in an order to have been able to attack last turn when that Cramorant and just start initiating the prize race. There's the energy move to the front of the hand.
Because the security here for Erin is that it's only Roaring Moon EX that will be able to knock out the Charizard EX, right?
He could, yeah, also Erin could swing. I believe isn't there a Charizard, a Charmander that can deal 30 damage? Yes, there's a Heat Tackle Charmander.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure he has it on the bench right now, but that could have been an option. It's something I've seen other players do before after a Roaring Moon.
Doesn't want to use those single prizes though, right? The amp you very much.
No, not ideal, of course, of course.
Frenzied Gouging, you would imagine, is the play here from Tors, taking those two prizes. However, like we said, if Erin is able to match that with maybe a Lost City and a knockout and, you know, an Iono.
Has Nest Ball and the Super Rod can kind of try and set up a secondary attacker.
Yeah.
Which could be big. So that's probably what he's eyeing up right now. There's the Lightning, Psychic, and the Water energies in the discard right now.
With the Sableye as well, it means that that Kyogre play isn't going to be something of an option for Tord. It's going to have to get rid of that Malafine with no Gust, as we mentioned earlier. That game plan isn't going to be an option for him. Opts for the Palkia V to come down. Origin form, of course.
As highlighted before, it's another sort of Mirage Gate to his water Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, this is intense. This is.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's going through Tor's mind right now with all of those resources having been played out, and how they're going to be utilized into the coming turns.
It's going to take the knockout on the Charizard. Yes,
Yep, there it is. 200 damage on itself. Frenzy Gouging, knocking out a 330 HP Charizard EX. Susceptible to a return KO, even from that Pidgeot EX, but how will Erin deal with this now? No other Charmanders available unless he's able to Super Rod that Charmander back in. Has Super Rod in hand, Ultra Ball there as well, Luminion available as well. Lots of options here.
Yeah, with the quick search as well. A lot of consistency available to Erin. Now I would have thought he does want to utilize. He does want to use the Charizard EX this turn, right? It's really difficult for Tord to knock out.
Yes,
so
agreed.
if he's available to use Luminion, find an Arvin, find an out to a Charizard EX.
We'll be working with just that one last remaining Charizard EX. Remember, 2 Charmanders prize for Erin. Some vital turns here, back and forth between the players. Again, lots of over-KOing because it's doing plenty of damage now with that Burning Darkness. 3 prizes taken from Tord's board, 90 damage extra on top of the 180.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to knock out the Roaring Moon with the Pidgeot because Tord will be able to just slap back with the Iron Hands EX.
Yeah, I think you'd want to just take the knockout with a Charizard EX. That's why he's considering just Ultra Balling away the Super Rod, which he does. Charizard EX will be coming down once again. Double checking the energies there. Plenty to utilize. Infernal Rain as well. Rare candy from the quick search. And then maybe Lumineon into Iono.
Yeah,
and just stifling towards board. I mean, you are putting another 2 prizes down, but again, I guess actually that would give Tord a 1-turn window of winning with Ampu very much on a Lumineon V.
Yeah, but with no Gust, I don't think that would be an option for him. But if he was fortunate enough for Erin to promote it off an escape rope, maybe. But
there's always the worry in Erin's mind.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know Tord's list, he doesn't want to risk it at all. But I think an Iono would be strong here.
Iono would be very strong. Still has quick search available to him, of course, so can opt for that. Here we see the Charizard EX. I don't think I saw rare candy naturally in the hands.
Assume the quick search will grab a rare candy. Has utilized 2 already, so it does play the full 4 copies, of course.
Debating here what to go for, right?
Yeah, just double checking. I mean, I think he's at that stage of kind of worrying a little bit, right?
Yeah. What's Tord's game plan, right?
What can Tord do?
What are your ideas? How do you envisage beating me? How can I stop that game plan?
How can I beat you? What is my prize mapping here? If I take the knockout here, I go down to 3, but then how am I taking my next 3 as well? These are the questions going through every player's minds. Iono being maneuvered, looks like to the front as well. No, as an option for the Lumineon V. Looks like the rare candy grabbed. I'm assuming it's big. Yeah, it's a rare candy for the Charizard.
Rare candy into Charizard EX.
Infernal Rain.
Infernal Rain.
Time to heat up the board once again.
Yeah. 2 energy from the deck. Only has 2 more available to him after this. So may opt to only attach 2. Oh, no, I think he's attaching the 3. Yeah, one to Jirachi as a pivot for future turns.
Plenty of energies, it looks like, in the deck as well. I mean, plays the 8. So there's 2 in the discard, 2 on the Pidgeot EX. And then 3, so there's 1 more left in deck, potentially, as well.
Puts down the Lumineon, and he's going to go for the Iono play.
Hasn't, I guess Tord just waiting for confirmation that it is being played.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, of course.
Don't want to be in that rough situation.
There
Iono
you go,
comes down.
Iono. Tord double checking his resources, a key thing that a lot of players are starting to do, of course, because they do stay at the bottom of the deck. They're not shuffled back in.
No.
It just pushes you further away from those cards that you had.
And this is a big 3 for Tord, right? Only 1 supporter left in deck. Does have the option of using Poker Gear if he was fortunate enough to draw into it.
Is there 1 Poker Gear left?
I think so. Pokestop's still an option to him as well. Erin's going to be hoping to put down the Lost City. Did he draw into it? He drew into it.
Lost City's big. Removes the threat of Roaring Moon EX from future attacks.
Now
as well.
There's no threat now, right? To the Charizard EX.
No real threat to the Charizard EX. Will have to be taken down slowly. Does have access to that Radiant Charizard as well. Lots going right here for Erin. Doesn't have access to Super Rod anymore, so can't bring back any more energies. Does only have access to that 1 left. Arvin taken from the prizes. 3 left. You're leveling up this game 3 towards.
Yeah, both on 3 prizes.
He's hit the
Colress's experiment.
And Poker Gear, so can shuffle some of those good cards at the bottom of the deck back up throughout if he wants to choose to do so as well. It looks like it's an option, just to shuffle the deck around. Of course, look at the options again that's available to him.
He's going to reset that deck from that Iono. Just has a look there. No, Tord, no more options available for you.
No more targets. But that's just for us to know and Erin to figure out later.
Does play Palpad. However, can get 2 of those Colresses back into the deck. And of course, for Erin, most importantly, with that Palkia V on the bench, this puts Erin 2 turns of attacking away from taking this game.
Yep, Tord may have to try and utilize that Origin Form Palkia V-Star at some stage as well, as we do see the Chorus Experiment come down. 5 cards. Here, 1 easy choice.
Does have the Iron Hands, does have the Kyogre, Energy Recycler as well, you can imagine.
No Mirage Gate.
No. Battle VIP Pass will be hitting the Lost Zone. An optimal choice there from Tord. Energy Recycler looking to be an option here for Tord. as well.
This flower selecting could be massive as well.
Yeah.
A further dig through the deck. 2 more cards. Energy recyclers first.
Shuffling 5 energy back into the deck.
If he hits an energy, can of course use concealed cards to maybe draw through into the deck a bit more. And leaving some water energies in the discard as well.
And with so much energy in this deck, and more importantly, a variance of different energy, lightning, psychic, water, dark, important to take account of what energy is available to you.
Yeah, has to get the most value out of that recycler as possible. Maybe needs to try and weave in a Origin Form Palkia V-Star attack. Where possible, because it's only 270 damage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
By the Charizard EX, 180 plus 30 for each prize your opponent's taken, so 270 doesn't quite reach an Origin Form Palkia V-Star with 280 HP. That's flower selecting, though. Not ideal.
No, not fantastic at all for Tord. Really wants to, like you said, evolve this Palkia V.
Switch card can continue to dig through into the other Comfey. Flower selecting again.
1, 2.
Energy.
I think it was Super Rod Energy.
Couldn't quite tell. Definitely an energy there. Kept the energy. More concealed cards. He's drawing. We're drawing.
2 cards.
There's the Palkia
V-Star.
Now, what next for Tord Reklev? The evolution up. We'll be able to use that fantastic ability, Star Portal, to bring back some energies back into.
Yeah, he's going to be able to attack this turn. However, does need to find a retreat. I believe he had energy in hand.
No, he had an escape probe, it looked like to me.
Escape probe, interesting.
But we'll be maybe targeting something. Oh man, this is tense here. I think Tord's just kind of eyeing up what exactly could happen from Erin's side of the board.
Only doing, well, now doing 200 damage, I believe, with this Palkia V-Star, with the Subspace Swell, 60 plus 20 for each benched Pokemon on the field.
Been a while since we've done that, Matt. We haven't seen it too often. Subspace Swell, great attack. Has been an MVP in many a format before.
Can knock out the Lumenion. I wouldn't mind seeing the promotion of Jirachi, of course, with that Sableye threat now being gone. However, of course,
Pidgeot EX can tank a hit, though.
Yes, can tank a hit for sure.
But yeah, there's the escape rope. I mean, Erin, in his mind, I'm sure, doesn't know Tord's list in and out. So it doesn't know that there's no boss or another gusting option. So here we go. Oh, he's thinking about it. He's second-guessing himself.
He's flirting with the idea for sure. Just checking,
double-checking.
Subspace well.
Do the addition himself. 60 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon on both sides of the board. So there's 8 there right now.
220 damage at the moment from the Subspace Swell, so won't be knocking out the Pidgeot EX. But this is, I guess, the benefit of playing a deck like Tord's.
He keeps touching between the two. Final decision to be made here. This is big. Jirachi, does it land?
Oh.
Which one is it,
Which one is it?
Does he let go? He let goes.
Yeah, let goes.
It's the Pidgeot EX.
Of the Pidgeot EX opting to...
That could prove so vital if it can survive the hit here. This is why Tord maybe not going straight into the Palkia V-Star yet.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, taking on that risk. I'm unsure if Erin, of course, knows that
at this time
Tord plays more than one Sableye.
Can't quite see what this flower selecting is yet. As soon as we get confirmation as well, it must be a tricky one. Tord hasn't instantly decided it's just a pass.
And it's just a pass. Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Initiative back over to Erin.
Yeah. So Erin now unable to knock out the Origin Form Palkia V-Star. Of course, will only be 10 damage off. So I guess a single prize is the option here. If Tord doesn't take a prize next turn, we'll be able to take a knockout with the Charizard EX. So this is going to be a really interesting battle of the minds now, a battle of the game plans, here from both players.
Yeah, it's a crazy one, right? Because maybe Tord couldn't take the knockout that turn, because then that would activate Charizard's ability to retaliate and actually take a KO on the Palkia V-Star itself. Tord still trying to find his outs here with just that pass. Here's an Ultra Ball coming down from Erin. Needs to try and stifle Tord more.
I wouldn't mind seeing another Charmander come down, possibly.
He can't. He can't. He's got 2 prize.
2 prize.
One's gone down. Super Rod gone.
Any more Sableye available to him?
Sableye?
Just, sorry, Super Rod. No, use the one Super Rod. Okay.
The Super Rod had to go, was Ultra Balled away to grab the second Charizard EX when he evolved up into the second one. There's a Pidgeot V coming back. Can pull it down. Is there an Iono again in hand? I couldn't quite tell. Is it another way to just slow Tord down in some way? It's a Pidgey. It's Arvin. Arvin taken from the prizes, if I'm not mistaken. Just kind of thinning out the deck a little. Oh, there is an Iono. So, yeah, there was another Iono. It's another slowing down of Tord's side of the board.
Putting Tord down to 3, and with no supporters available to him, this is going to be another big 3 for Tord, unfortunately.
Tord has time, which is interesting.
Time's definitely on his side.
Purely because that Charizard EX can't take a knockout on that Palkia V-Star. Erin did have that Radiant Charizard in hand as well.
Yeah.
Does have Ultra Ball now, which maybe kind of makes it a little bit obsolete, but
does still have Quick Search as well.
Would have maybe liked to have seen the Radiant Charizard come down as sort of a auxiliary attacker.
As a just in case, yeah.
To swing into a big Palkia V-Star at some stage, but we do have the Charizard EX now back in the active spot. Is this the first time we're going to see Erin take the lead in prizes?
Yeah, just down to 2 prizes now.
He's now jumped over where Tord was. Tord, what can you do with these 3 cards in hand? More Lost Zone cards.
Yeah.
Going in there because of Lost City, of course. Is relevant because Tord plays plenty of recovery cards.
He's going to have to start putting pressure down Tord, of course. With no Gust available to him.
Wants to attack with a
there's the Palpad.
Single prizer.
2 Colress straight back into deck. Not going to be any other choices. Of course, only playing those Colresses. Palpad such an effective ability of putting 2 supporters back into the deck. Just shuffling up here. Going to be some really important flower selectings coming up.
Really tense. Remember, just for those who have just caught up with us once again at this Gdansk Regionals, this is our top 8 feature match. We are in game 3. And Tord hits the Colress experiment.
Hits the Colress, of course.
We are in our game 3 with just under 10 minutes to go. And we're at such a critical moment of how both these players can try and push themselves into that top 4 berth and potentially even more beyond. An easy choice there. There's a Super Rod as well. A couple of easy choices.
Yeah, opting to go for the Battle VIP pass, of course. Keeping that Colress's experiment. There's only 1 left now. I think only 4 or 5 cards left in the deck.
No way to grab Pokemon out of the deck if he does choose to Super Rod there as well. Yeah. We're running out of resources, Tord. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, what's your game plan? How are you winning this one? Of course, Star Portal is an option to him. Can start swinging with that Origin Form Palkia, but they're still kind of 2 attacks away, right? So he won't be able to knock out the Charizard EX with Subspace Swell. Just like Erin won't be able to knock out the Palkia V-Star with Burning Darkness. So they're in an awkward position where they're both kind of 2 hitting each other. But
so this is what I've mentioned. Tord has to try and utilize a single prize attacker here.
Important to see.
Because it will be 2 attacks into that Charizard EX, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to take a knockout just solely by that Palkia V-Star on the bench.
Yeah.
So if Tord can weave in a single prize attacker like that Cramorant, maybe not trying to use the Greninja just to deal 90 because it might not really be enough.
Yeah.
Conceal cards here. He needs to hit Cramorant for an opportunity. There it is.
Hits the Cramorant and a Battle VIP pass.
Does have energy for attachment to retreats. And this is what's got to carry him through the game. The Cramorant's... Ooh.
Retreats
maybe I was just incorrect.
Palkia V-Star, Star Portal. being used. 3 water energy coming onto that Palkia V-Star, and an attack. Subspace Swell.
With Subspace Swelling instead. My bad for calling it slightly wrong. 60 plus 8 times 20 there on the board, so 220 as you already said.
220 damage, yep. Coming onto that Charizard
So 110
EX.
left.
110 left.
So he needed it just to kind of hit for perfect math with that Cramorant. But what does this mean? So if Erin takes, well, deals damage here.
Erin needs a way to knock out this Palkia V-Star, right? That's the way he wins here, I think. Unless he's able to take out one of the single prizes with the Pidgeot EX in the full HP. But I suppose Toad's still in an awkward position because he's on 3 prizes, right?
I think if Erin still hits into this Palkia, it's really awkward. There's the escape rope. Oh, Greninja flying across the board.
With a deck so thin now, you'd imagine Greninja is not as effective as it could be in the earlier turns.
Unable to be taken down by the Pidgeot EX either.
Yeah, 120 with that blustery wind. So is forced to maybe use the Charizard EX to take the knockout on this Greninja.
This is super tense here. Erin wanting to double check all of the resources Tord has used so far. We can't quite see all of the cards in Tord's Lost Zone either. 17 cards, almost a third of the deck.
Yeah.
Has made its way into Tord's Lost Zone.
I don't think I've seen as many in the Lost Zone ever before.
Especially the counter. A lot of us give up after the 10. Erin would have loved to have weaved in a third Charizard EX here, but having to just use this one to carry him through.
The big advantage for Erin, of course, is that he does have Gust available to him. He does have the 3 copies of Boss in his deck, whereas Tord, of course, you know, well, he doesn't basically. He only has he only has the escape rope. So Erin's going to be really looking to take advantage of that.
If I'm not mistaken, we've seen the Defiance Band already also be, I think, discarded from an Ultra Ball. I don't think he has access to that as well. I think it was alongside that Ultra Ball with that Super Rod. That would help ramp up some of the damage once he is behind, because that would be maybe an attachment onto the Radiant Charizard with Fire Energy, and that could be enough to reach for the Palkia V-Star.
Would have thought that would be an option available to him.
Just checking what's available here. This is the Ultra Ball coming down.
Don't see the Defiance Band.
Radiant Charizard, normally a fantastic attacker, but at the moment cannot reach the Palkia V-Star HP. That 280 HP really sort of causing chaos here for Erin, because even his own Charizard EX unable to stretch to that damage output.
Yeah, I don't think Combustion Blast will be an option to him either. With only 3 prize cards taken, it still has that 2 energy requirement in order to use the Combustion Blast. And here we see a quick search from Erin.
If maybe Erin could use Radiant Charizard to take the knockout here. It's 2 prizes, right? If you can set up 2 attackers, Tord can't, because we know that Disable is gone. Can't take 3 prizes.
If he does want to use the Pidgeot EX as an attacker, will require an
just try and use the Radiant Charizard with a Fire Energy. That one that was left in his deck, I believe. I hope I'm not mistaken. Maybe take a knockout. Oh, he can't use the Charizard yet, but you know, at least develop it for a future turn. Does get the boss from the quick search.
So with Boss's orders, will be able to take a prize this turn and put himself 1 prize away from taking this game.
I guess the view is, how many boss has Erin gone through? Because if he can boss this turn and then boss again, he's already got 2 attackers on the board as well. That will be able to deal enough damage to knock out a Comfey or the Cramorant.
With only 1 boss, if that is the fact, then he'll be wanting to attack with the Charizard EX, right?
In theory, it doesn't. Oh yeah, the Charizard would be far better here.
Yeah, because the quick search
will be. Quick search.
The quick search will still be available to him next turn. Bosses up the Comfey.
What will Erin do here? He wants to try and protect it. He's obviously a little bit worried, but
looking to
again, he's second guessing himself. He doesn't know what is in Tord's deck.
Looking to make a retreat here.
Is he just announced an attack? He's announced an attack.
Announced the attack.
This could be...
Erin put himself one prize card away now from taking this game 2-1. Exciting stuff.
280 HP Pidgeot EX in the active spot now for Erin. Is that enough here? Because if that Pidgeot EX somehow gets taken down,
the majority of Tord's Pokemon, I think, are in the Lost Zone currently. That Lost City definitely sticking around.
I wonder if this is checkmate based on the resources we've seen so far. This is super tense here. Tord is double checking what's available.
Yeah. And
probably checking the energies that are there as well.
Yeah, and with the amount of Pokemon in that Lost Zone, that Subspace Swell just losing its damage potential. Here we see a Mirage Gate. You would have thought that this is just to check the options available to him.
I believe so.
Very thin deck, very thin. I think there's only about 4 or 5 cards left in there.
I think this could be really tough decision here. There you go, Iron Hands, Dark, Lightning, Pokestop. Does Tord have a way out? There's not that many options available to him.
No.
He's played to every single one of his outs possible here.
Isn't even able to use the Arm Press because there's only one Lightning available to him.
If only he had Gust and then the Arm Press.
So
he's just announcing an attack. I think Tord
just a Subspace
has
Swell.
seen it on the wall. Does Erin have access to a boss? One final boss from that quick search.
Let's see what he
Top
gets.
Deck. Doesn't matter. He's quick searching. He's going through the deck.
Does he find the boss? He's got the boss, and Erin takes the game 2-1. Wow, what a game. Quick Search just showing the power of Pidgeot EX. Alex, I'm speechless.
Incredible.
I'm absolutely speechless.
Absolutely incredible.